Welcome to Pick Up and Deliver, the podcast where I pick up my audio recorder as I head out for a walk and deliver an episode to you while I stroll around. I'm Brendan Riley. Well, good morning, listeners. It's a lovely day here in suburban Chicago. I'm out for a midday walk in between a couple Zoom meetings and some interesting work. So for those of you who are regular to the podcast, you know that each year with the beginning of a new calendar year, I like to do a best of a previous year. However, I tend to not play as many new games or not have access to all the new games where a lot of podcasters do, or other content creators. I've noticed people will do like a best of 2023. Like I've encountered a number of best of 2023 lists, and I just feel like, how do you have time to have played all the 2023 games by the end of 2023? Like, some of them I don't even have access to yet. So what I do instead is I like to do a best of the year before the year we're on. So since we just finished 2023, we're doing a best of 2022 episode. So today I'll be talking about my 5 favorite games from 2020 that I've played that were published in 2022, and 5 more runners up that almost made the cut but didn't. I'll talk a little bit about each one, and then if you want to know more about what I think, you can go to the show notes and you'll find my links to the episodes where I talked about them in previous podcasts, so you can hear about them a little more. Some of them I'll have talked about more than others, but you'll be able to see that list on our show notes. And then I will produce another episode, the next episode, which will be my superlatives episode. In the superlatives one, I pick out other games that didn't make the top 5 or the top 5 runner-ups or honorable mentions, and I'll call them out for being interesting or fun in some other way. So that's the plan for the day. Let's jump into it. My top game that was published in 2022, I don't think this is going to be a surprise, is Frosthaven. My family has thoroughly enjoyed Frosthaven so far. We're probably, I don't know how many plays, at least 30 plays in, maybe more. I got Frosthaven relatively late in the delivery cycle of these sorts of games, but we started playing it relatively quick. My son really liked Gloomhaven and was ready for us to jump into Frosthaven when it came, and so we got it going pretty fast. I don't know that I like it better than Gloomhaven. I like it about the same. To me, it's the same game, or so similar as to be almost a sequel rather than a new game, or an expansion rather than a new game, but it's more like a sequel. The village management stuff is kind of interesting, but not different enough for me to really be wowed by it. Like, I don't find myself really thrilling over the village management stuff, but I'm enjoying the plots and I like the monsters and we're having a lot of fun with the game. I'm loving the characters. The nuance and differences in what the characters can do and how they work is pretty fascinating, and we're just having a good time with it. I am on my second character. Everybody in the family has retired at least one. I don't think anyone's retired 2 yet, although I guess my son did technically retire 2 because he played like 5 missions with one or 10 missions with one and decided he didn't like it, so he switched without retiring. But other than that, it's been pretty great. So I guess all the hype stands. Check out Frosthaven if you can. If you've never played any of the Haven games, I recommend Jaws of the Lion first. It teaches you how to play Gloomhaven in the first couple of missions, like a video game tutorial, and it's 25 missions, so for a lot of people that's enough. You can play the whole thing, feel like you completed the story, and be done. Then if you like that, you can get into Gloomhaven. Gloomhaven 2 version 2.0 is on its way. I don't know when they're going to deliver it, but I might wait for that. Or if you can find a used copy or a copy of Gloomhaven 1, they're probably on discount now. Well worth it. And then you could do Frosthaven. Or you could just jump into Frosthaven, but I probably wouldn't. So that was my top game of 2022, Frosthaven. Second place is Revive. For the last few years, I've really been enjoying the work of the Swedish designers who did Revive. I'm having trouble with their names right now. I'm sure they'll come to me. Amundsen is one of them. Anyway, I've been really enjoying their work. Riverboat is great. I love The Magnificent. I really like Escape Curse of the Temple. And now Revive. Revive is a deep, crunchy combo building game where you're sort of layering one action upon another and getting these sort of chain reaction combos that give you just a lot of room to benefit and grow. It's got slightly asymmetric powers, which can be leveraged into real bonanzas of efficiency and scoring. I like the theme of it. We're emerging from an apocalyptic era into a new era. We're trying to thaw the world and grow things. We're reviving the world. It's great. Overall, I really like it. Well worth a play if you get a chance. Beautiful components, at least in terms of this really nice double layered board. The double layered player boards, lots of cool little bits of wood. It's fiddly and long, but I love it. So that's Revive, my number 2. The third game is a game I honestly wouldn't have tried without someone else saying, hey, we're playing this, you want to give it a try? And I was like, okay, sure. This is Mosaic. Mosaic was designed by Glenn Drover and published by Forbidden Games. I first played it with a friend at their house and I really liked it. I was like, oh, that's fun. And then just by chance, another friend gave it to me as a gift. And so I've played it once since then and I really enjoyed it again. And it's stuck in my mind as, maybe my second favorite civilization builder, my first being Through the Ages. Mosaic's really interesting. It's a tableau builder, not too dissimilar from Terraforming Mars. You have a lot of different cards that you can build, and as you play the cards, you get different things. There is a map component that I really like, some a little light area control. There's a little bit of fighting, but nothing too outrageous. There is some great jockeying for position and trying to read what other people are doing. Oh, yeah, overall, Mosaic is really fun, and I've enjoyed it a lot. I'm looking forward to playing it again. This really makes me want to get it out again now that I looked through this. I was like, oh yeah, Mosaic, man, that's a good game. So keep that in mind. Mosaic, A Story of Civilization, my number 3 from 2022. Now my number 4 might be the most contentious choice, and this is My Father's Work. My Father's Work from T.C. Petty III, published by Renegade Games. This is a bespoke boutique game. You had to get it on Kickstarter or buy it from them at a con because it's too expensive to sell through distribution. It is a fascinating game in which you are one of the children of Victor Frankenstein, and you are continuing the mad scientist work that they started. There's a really interesting component and an app element to the game. The map tiles are fascinating and the gameplay is really good. So, I mean, it is a weird, wild, bonkers, huge game. It takes a long time to play. It's very involved, but I really liked it when I played it. This is another one I really want to play some more. I've only played it the one time and we had a great time, but we only played it once. So I really would like to get it out again, kick the tires some more. But so far, barring really bad plays, I guess, I've really enjoyed that, and it makes my number 4 in 2022. That's My Father's Work. And finally, my number 5 choice for games from 2022 is one that is probably the one I've played the most other than Frosthaven, and that is Libertalia, The Winds of Galecrest. Now, the original Libertalia I thought was fine, but it didn't do a lot for me. However, when Libertalia Winds of Galecrest came out, something about the refinement in the way the tokens work, the leaderboard, the altered art where it's still pirate themed, but now it's like air pirates and they're all anthropomorphized animals. All of these things combine together to me to make a really fascinating and fun game that I am just thoroughly enjoying playing. I like it every time I play it. I'm happy to play it again when people want to. The variety of cards means that it's different every time you play. It's great. Yeah, I don't know, there's a lot more to say. Oh, if you haven't played it, the way the game works is everybody gets the same deck of 40 cards. One person randomly picks a certain number of them. I think it's 5 and then 6 and then 7, or 6, 7, and 8, something like that. And everybody else gets the same cards that the first person picked randomly. Then you all take turns playing for, I think you go 6, 7, 8, and you play 4, 5, and 6 cards in a round. And when you play the card, then there's this whole jockeying for position and the order that the cards activate in. And the fun comes from trying to anticipate what other players are going to play and how your cards are going to interact with their cards. There's a lot of really interesting positioning and screwage, really stabbing each other in the back. It's good, it's lighthearted fun. I love the way the game comes with a meaner variant and a nicer variant. That's a good compromise for players who tend to prefer less direct conflict. The art is beautiful, the tokens are good, game component quality is great. All in all, an excellent game that I really enjoy. That's Libertalia, The Winds of Galecrest. Check it out if you get a chance. And then I do have 5 more games that I consider my runners up. These are games that I really enjoy. Any one of these could have been in my top 5. Had one of the other games gone missing, I'd have been happy to have these in my top 5. I'm not at all embarrassed. I'm braggy about liking these 2. And these are Woodcraft, the 2022 Vladimir Suchy game. This one you are, building wood things and doing efficiencies. There's a really interesting circular choice mechanism and neat dice play that involves having dice be exactly what you need them to be and using tokens to raise or lower them. It's a fascinating idea. The next one, so these five honorable mentions are not in any particular order, so take them as you will. The next one is Return to Dark Tower. Now, this is one where it's grown on me. The first time we played it, I thought it was just fine, but each time we've played it, I've liked it a little bit more. This is a cooperative game in which we're working together to fight a great evil that is trying to destroy, the world. It's got this big electronic gizmo in the middle of the table, and you have to play with a tablet, but it's a really interesting game that is all about, threat management and deciding how much to gamble to get your benefits. There's a little bit of push your luck in it, and I really like it. So definitely worth checking out if you get a chance. That's Return to Dark Tower. The one downside of that one is the price tag is very steep. So I'm kind of glad a friend of mine bought it instead of me buying it. Haha. Next up, we have the Guild of Merchant Explorers. This is a game that I was super hyped about when I heard about it, because it's Dunstan and Gilbert, 2 of my favorite designers, especially when they're working together. And the mechanisms are just really neat. In this game, it's a sort of bingo style game where you're drawing a card and everybody reacts to the card that's been drawn. Over time, you're sort of laying out this map and earning points. The fun part comes from when you, each round, you get 1 bonus card, and this bonus card gives you a game-breaking power that you get to use once or twice per round. The game's only like 4 rounds, but these bonus powers give you such wild diversity in what you can do that it really makes for an exciting time. I think the main thing that kept this off of my top 5 is the art design. The whole game is in sepia tone for some reason. It's too small on the board. It's a little bit fiddly. So while I really like it, there are some significant flaws in the design that I think push it out of the top 5 for me. But definitely enjoy it. Happy to play anytime someone suggests it. Although I do not own a copy. That's the Guild of Merchant Explorers. The next one from 2022 that I really like is Tenpenny Parks. This is a polyomino game with some really interesting twists on the mechanics and fantastic theme. The theme in this game sells it for me. The art from Vincent Dutrait has this lovely sort of early 1900s amusement park vibe, and it's a delightful game, fun to play, nicely competitive. It's not amazing, but it's really good and fun. So yeah, if you haven't gotten to play Tenpenny Parks yet, I recommend it. You should give it a try. Finally, the last game that I want to mention is the Bureau of Investigation. The Bureau of Investigation is a new game from Space Cowboys, from the people who made Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective. I think it's produced by that company. I don't think any of the original Sherlock Holmes designers are involved, but it's the same general idea. But instead of investigating murder mysteries like you would in Sherlock Holmes, you're investigating cosmic horror mysteries like you would in mythos tales, except these mysteries are better put together. I really liked the Bureau of Investigation, Arkham Files, and Other Mysteries. I hope that it sold well so that they're considering putting out more, because we had a good time with it and I'm happy to have played it. So if you haven't had a chance to check that one out, please do. Well, like I said, this is the first half of my 2022 Game Awards episodes. The second half will be the next episode that I publish, and it will be the Superlatives episode, where I list a bunch of games that I've played that are fun and weird, and I'm giving them unique awards. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, go ahead and look up the Superlative Awards from previous years. You'll see what I mean. I guess that leads me to ask, what are your favorite games for 2022? Head over to Board Game Geek Guild 3269 and share your thoughts on this important subject. You can email me, Brendan@rattleboxgames.com, or send me a message on Board Game Geek. Wombat929 is my username there. Thanks for joining me on my walk today. I hope that your next walk is as pleasant as mine was. Bye-bye.
Brought to you by Rattlebox Games.